Welcome back to SA Sports Show. I'm here with a couple of real legends of the sport, and at the moment representing Dick Johnson supercar team, Will Davison, and also Anton Pasquale.
Pasquale,
That's right.
Had you stumbled for a little bit?
I know. I stumbled before, so I was practicing it. Will, first of all, Will, just amazing. Bathurst, a couple of great wins there. Also, Clipsal. What's your favourite, Adelaide or Bathurst? Clipsal, Adelaide. You're in Adelaide at the moment.
Yeah, it's. Bathurst for sure is
Something classic, isn't it? It's just classic.
It's hard to win.
Yeah,
it's a real team sport though.
Yeah.
Like, it's that sort of event where you need so many things to go your way.
Yeah.
Two drivers, the team element, and just the history and the prestigiousness of that event's massive. But Clipsal was a close second, I think, for so many years for many drivers because it's a single driver street fight, and it was a real physical challenge, and it became huge here in Adelaide, and it was a really big one.
It was like Hollywood for you guys. It was fantastic, but Adelaide just stopped. South Australia stopped, and the support we got and the crowds we got, it would have been just fantastic to be part of.
I can't believe it's not happening anymore, but certainly all us drivers loved it. It was a big one to win, and for me as a kid, I went to probably 6, 7 of the Formula One races watching my dad racing. Adelaide got behind Formula One like no other event, and then really that became the same for V8s and supercars. It sort of just carried over a city stopper.
And Anton, what about yourself? We talked about going back to kids. You started in karting. You got to start somewhere. How did you know you had the passion to be a driver?
It all started out as a bit of fun, I think, just a bit of karting, myself, my dad, mum, whatever, traveling around the country, having a bit of fun racing go-karts, and then naturally you start racing bigger races, you're winning some, that kind of thing, and then you get to a point where you're like, oh, okay, is this the thing? Like, do I want to go into cars? And then you dabble in cars for a little bit, and then you just base it with results, and sort of you start enjoying it, and you're getting good results, and you start seeing a potential future, and you start chasing that dream. So it all starts with a little fun, and karting is so much fun. So
now, supercars, you've had 63 races, and you've been on the podium half a dozen or so. That would be fantastic. That would have been such a buzz.
Every time you get a trophy, you go to the track to try and walk home with the trophy. So every time you get one, you're feeling good.
And the champagne as well.
Yeah, all that. So last year we missed a lot of the podiums because of all that COVID stuff. So got a few podiums, no champagne, no trophy, no podium, no nothing. It was really weird. But anytime you go to the track, you want to go home with a trophy, you want to go home with the biggest trophy. So that's always what we're aiming for sure.
You've been saturated with champagne. You've had lots of podiums. You've had over 300. It was over 300 races. That is amazing.
I think I'm up
450. What am I talking about? 450.
I think it's means I'm old, mate. But, it's weird. It's just a blur like any professional career, as you know. You're in the heat of the battle, and as Anton touched on, 1 minute you're in karts, and there's no real clear direct path to the top for us. It's always a scramble, and the key thing is to love it, and if you love something, you work hard, and then to become a professional in our sport, it's really hard. It's not easy. But to now be here, 15, 16 years into my supercar career professionally, it's pretty cool. I'm pretty fortunate that I'm still sitting here today, and I'm in a great team, still able to challenge for race wins. So
And what about different styles of racing? I mean, the supercars, you can see that was your your goal, and that's been must be fantastic to be part of it all, and of course being part of the Dick Johnson racing team.
If I think for any young racer, the moment where you become a professional driver and you're racing for a big team supercars in a professional category, it's quite a cool moment. You've worked your whole career for that. Myself and Will both spent a bit of time overseas racing that dream and chasing that, and we've sort of gone there, come back, done all that, and now in supercars. So
great team, Dick Johnson. It's been
it's unreal. You see straight away the history it has behind it, and all that support is behind us now, and it's really cool to be a part of. And from the team I was at to the team now, you can see like that big lift and just fan base history. The team's been around a long time, a lot of success. So it's awesome to be part of.
What about what's your favourite racing car, should I say? I mean, like, I've just gone through you've used up all my paper too, by the way, when I printed it all out. It's just an encyclopedia of your career. What's been your favourite?
Well, it depends.
Because you touched on Grand Prix as well. I
Yeah.
mean, that is Hollywood, you know. So you've touched on that. You've done some European as well. What's something that you look back and you say, wow, I'm really pleased I gave that a go?
Well, I think both Anton and I, we've actually mirrored each other's careers, you know,
Okay.
10 years later than me, but we both went from winning Australian Formula Ford championships to having a crack in Europe. And not many Aussies got that shot to at least go and have a go and try and get to Formula One.
Yeah.
So we both did the same thing, and I did 3 or 4 years over there in Formula Renault, Formula 3, racing against guys like Lewis Hamilton and a lot of Formula One guys.
And you're successful. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
don't
well,
just
you're
brush
right
over
there.
it.
No,
Yeah.
no, we're right there. I mean, the talent in Australia is right there, capable. You just need a few stars to align at the right moment over there, and anything's possible. But to drive a Formula One car, to realise that dream in 2004 was the ultimate. I mean, it's like if you're a pilot, right? Do you want to fly a Cessna or a Boeing 747 or an F-18 fighter jet? You know, it's nothing comes absolutely close to the sheer performance and adrenaline rush of a Formula One car. But come back to Australia, and V8s are cool in their own way. They're muscle cars. They're big. They're heavy. They don't do everything nearly as well as a Formula One.
Yeah.
But the racing's amazing. The history, the fan base. They're really cool cars. So I've driven a bit of everything, and they've all got their own unique challenges. It's still the same challenge to try and win at the end of the day. Is the thrill of it all.
Yeah. What about training, Anton? What's that? I mean, I think of me being a footballer or an ex-footballer, and you're training Monday, you know, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and you know you get ready for Saturday. What's involved in training for the supercars?
Yeah, it's a little bit. There's a few different ways you can do it, and everyone does it a little bit different. It's sort of a unique sport in the way you can't actually train in the environment that you compete in.
That's right, exactly. Yeah.
You can't go. You can go for a run or whatever, but you don't run in the race car.
Not tackling.
And we're restricted in how much laps we can do in the car throughout the year. So we're very limited to track time. So you're training sort of a lot in racing, but we do a lot of physical stuff, and everyone has their own little programs, getting ready for the race and whatever it is, strength and condition, all that stuff. But yeah, it's very unique in the fact that you can't practice in the environment that you're going to compete in. And that's sort of, it's quite hard, especially as a young guy coming into the category. Versus dudes like Will, being established, winning races, doing the thing, and you're coming in with no experience. It takes you years to get that experience and get up to speed. So
how do you know you're going to be a good race car driver? I mean, what was the difference that, you know, because it's very competitive. You know, every young kid wants to, you know, one day drive in a fast car. How did you know? What do you think is needed to be a good race driver?
I don't think you ever. I don't know.
Is it reflexes? Is it
Like,
you know, when you talk about endurance as well? I mean, like, you know, that's a huge part of your sport, and to be able to focus for that long is amazing.
Yeah, there's no moment that stands out that goes, that's the point where I knew, or but and I think, you know, I mean, you spend your whole, like, even now, every day you feel better than the last, and you're learning, and you're always developing, and you look back and go, oh, I wish it did this different. So I don't think you ever really know, or you ever really maximized anything. It's one of the, you know, like in any sport, the human element can always be better.
Yeah, so true. Yeah.
So yeah, and I think that's probably part of actually being better.
Yeah.
You're never content with how you're going.
Yeah.
So, and
Great way of looking at it.
so,
Fantastic. Yeah.
for example, we'll do a lap. You know, we might do the same lap time, but he's done 4 corners over there better than I did over there better, and you put it together, and it's actually pole by 3/10. So somehow we're going to mimic each other in different parts of the track, but that might not be possible. You know, it's all these different things. So it's you're always looking at yourself and trying to better. That's for sure.
Well, I just quickly want to go over, you know, Clipsal 2012, Bathurst 2019, 16, which is a 7-year difference. So that was fantastic. I'm looking at wins here, wins there. Was it 19 race wins? But I just noticed that you didn't end up getting number 32. What happened there? You only got 17. What's going on there?
Exactly.
The great Tim Watson.
Yeah, big Essendon fan. 32 jersey as a kid. So hey, I'm proud of 17. That's the version of 32. 2 legends.
Fantastic, love it. Thanks so much for joining us, and all the very, very best. Good luck.
Legend, thanks.
Back to you guys.